The Nexus 5 has been around for a little over a year now and still holds up as an excellent smartphone option. Let's take a look at why I'm still using and loving my Nexus 5. The Nexus 5 is a large smartphone, but it's still very thin and very light. The form factor reminds me of the newer iPhones, though the Nexus 5 came out first. It has a 5-inch screen and the 1080 by 1920 resolution looks great. The easy-to-grip rubber backing and simple design make the phone sturdy enough to use without a case. Pricing isn't a huge factor for me. I get my phones for free, and despite that, I picked one of the cheapest phones that you could buy at the time. I did a lot of research, and for my needs, this was the best phone for me. The fact that it was a quarter of the price of its eye equivalents was just a bonus for my employer. The Nexus 5 is pure Android. It lacks the additional bloatware you'd find on phones from Samsung or HTC. This means that in addition to running quickly, the Nexus 5 gets all the new Android updates first, as soon as they're available. I love the freedom that this phone gives me. The ability to swap out anything on the device with total control meant that since I didn't love Google Hangouts, I could easily switch to an app like Textra for text messages with no hassle. Swapping launchers gives me an entire new way to interact with the same device. The battery life on the Nexus 5 was initially great. Now that I've been using the device for a while, it went from a 2 to 3 day charge cycle to every night. My goal is to be able to forget my charger for a weekend and still have a glimmer of life at the end. I haven't met many one-year-old smartphones with 5-inch screens that are much better, but it's still something I look for in a phone. The camera is adequate. It's really the best thing I can say about it. It'll certainly do well for the average selfie, but if you're serious about smartphone photography, the Nexus 5 may not be for you. I've had a lot of issues lately with Gmail crashing. I found reports online of similar problems since the last update. It happens a few times a day, and it's happened for the last couple of months. Having Gmail crash on a pure Android is even more frustrating than Internet Explorer crashing on Windows, and it happens just as frequently. Due to the Nexus' depth of customizations and ease of creating apps and alterations, no Nexus devices I've seen are really the same. This is a great plus for me, but for non-power users, this can be confusing. From the App Store to the UI, I would say it's not quite as refined as the more constricted, but more consistent iOS. Overall, I found the Nexus 5 to be a great phone, and it has held up well. I appreciate the level of flexibility it has to offer, and after using it for over a year, I can't see myself switching back to an iPhone anytime soon. For ITWC.ca, I'm Jeff Radecki. Thanks for watching All Hands on Tech.